Murder, She Wrote is a bloody, sexy, deadly podcast not for the faint of heart or young of age. Content warning in the episode description.
I'm taking my time. What's the use in running? I've been taking it all with a grain of salt. Ain't a sweet thing coming. I've got a silver gun in my pocket and some metal for the ferryman. So an old man dad's cold bones coming knocking, I'll knock him through the devil's hands.
Hello and welcome to Murder, She Wrote, a podcast about four corpses and their allies trying to solve their murders in 1 year's time or else they go to hell forever. The only problem this episode is we don't have any of the four corpses. My name is David Sant. I am your dungeon daddy, and we are going to be doing something a little special today.
My name is Ethan Vandermeiden. I'll be playing the character of Stick Walkman, and it's just me and David. It's just me and David.
For reasons we're about to explain.
David is currently in Utah, and I am currently in Texas, so we're doing this over Zoom, and me and David have been freaking out for the past 30 minutes trying to see if the recording will be good this time, because I don't know if you noticed, but last episode
it was like really subtle, the audio quality difference, but I think like one or two people probably picked it up.
Yeah.
So full story, we were attacked by the greatest bane in all of D&D-dom. D&D-dom? Dungeons and Dragons-dom scheduling. We were not able to get enough people together to form a full party episode to put out on time. So, on our Patreon, which you can join for free, and all of this took place on the free side of our Patreon, we put out a poll of what extended universe episode would you guys like to see from us. And our patrons voted that they wanted to hear an episode about, number one, Miriam going on an errand for Mother Death, and number two, what happened to Stick and Luna in the afterlife. And so for this episode, we are going to be delivering both of those side stories to you as a bonus. This Miriam errand is just going to be me talking to myself.
It's just going to be David. It's going to sound like David's in the corner of a room just making voices. Me and you are going to learn more about Ethan and David than Stick and Miriam.
We're going to become very intimately familiar with each other in a non-hot way, so that's going to be really fun.
Yay!
Yay! Yeah!
Yeah.
What,
I'm so scared.
Here we go!
My name is Stick Walkman, and this is my walking stick ton. You killed my owl bear. Prepare to die.
Just as your body makes contact with the screamer and it erupts into flame, the tendrils of the screamer reach your brainstem. And as everything around you erupts into horrible flame, you cease to feel the pain of it. You are surrounded by flesh, surrounded by fire, becoming enveloped by the screamer from the outside and the inside, and all you can feel is finally peace. And you can feel your body integrating into this greater whole. And strangely enough, you no longer feel fear in this. You're not sure if it's coming from you or coming from the screamer, but it's this sense that you belong here, and you have finally returned home. And after these spare moments of peace, you feel your soul ripping from the flesh of this screamer and hurtling through the blackness of space at breakneck speeds, so fast that you're afraid that you are going to come apart particle by particle. And then for the briefest of seconds, you flash back into reality, and you are standing in front of a door, floating towards it. And to say floating towards it it's a bit of a misnomer. It's more like your spirit is attempting to phase through it. And for a few moments, you get the brief and austere sensation that something is wrong about this. And then everything goes black. And when you open your eyes, you are inside a very familiar bed.
What room am I in?
You look around and you recognize this as your bedroom from the village where you lived for years.
Okay. I start getting out of bed, I think. and take in my surroundings.
You look around and your surroundings are completely familiar. Everything is exactly as you left it. This is your home in its prime.
I'm still very suspicious of everything since, the past couple days have been very wild. I don't think it's hit him that he's dead, but I think he just missed home so much that he takes it in faster than he would in the outside world. Does he notice anything about himself?
You look down, and the very first thing you see is that your leg is back.
Huh. Well, look at that. He'll just start doing squats. Back to it. Yeah. And then I think he'll start doing lunges. Feel the burn?
You don't feel the burn. As fast as you run and as hard as you go, you're not getting tired.
I think what he'll do is then he'll do 15 backflips in a row just to, test it.
Genuine question for you. Was Stick able to do backflips in life?
No, he wasn't. And he's like, I wonder. Steps onto the bed. Okay. Does a backflip.
Beautiful. Roll disadvantaged acrobatics.
13.
He pulls it off. He does a backflip. Barely lands it.
Where the hell am I?
As you're saying that, the sun starts streaming in through your windows, and you can see by its position that it is late morning. You have actually slept in quite a bit today.
What's he wearing? What's he dressed in?
Exactly what he always used to wear. Just typical halfling villager's clothes of the time.
He'll look around for his stick.
So your stick is not there.
She'll just walk outside.
You find yourself in the middle of a bustling halfling village. There are people bringing carts into town with their shopping wares and supplies. There are people arguing about prices in the streets. There are children playing their little games in the town square. The fountain is running. The sun is shining. Everything is beautiful and idyllic.
He's still kind of confused because he's had dreams like this happening again, but this is the one that's felt the most real. Still very suspicious, but he also is a little bit emotional. It's the first time that he notices the warmth of the sun hitting him that makes him feel safe in this place.
You hear a familiar noise coming from your backyard. The cooing of an owlbear.
I think that he would just walk ever so slightly towards the backyard. And as he takes a step and a step and a step, the more he wants to pull back, but he keeps going. Eventually he gets to the point where he can see what's around the corner.
Nestled up in her little old bed that you built for her with your own hands is Luna the owlbear, just waking up from her nap.
How is Luna reacting when seeing him?
Still sleepy, maybe a little bit confused, taking in the surprise of this moment.
I think all of his suspicion about what this place is and where he is and what has happened would just all go away the moment he sees Luna. I think that he would walk up where they're face to face, just put his hand out, start petting her, and I think he'd go in for a soft hug. Oh, I've missed you, girl.
Luna leans all the way into you the way she'd done 1,000 times, almost strangling you with the weight of her body, trying to wrap around yours in a gesture that means, I have waited so long for you.
It's okay. I'm here now. I'm here now.
Come in, Miriam. Sit, please. I have an errand for you. Where do you need me to go? My tracking charm on Lucky Spear went dead this morning. I was just about to summon them for questioning, and they vanished off the map. I need you to find them for me. They're still alive? Most of them. Stick arrived yesterday, and so did Delilah. Strangely enough, I had no problem housing her this time. Does that change your theory at all? Immensely. And infuriatingly. Either way, 1 down, 3 to go. That's great news. So where are you sending me? Well, before they vanished, they were near the Fortress of the Forgotten Sun, and judging by the way our Edwin also vanished from me, I suspect Vesper Winthrop must have caught up with them. Track them down and bring them to me. I think it's time we struck a new bargain. Right away, Mother. And don't be long, dear. I know how it affects your health. How long have I been like this? You mean my secretary? Always, dear. No, I mean my memory problems. Oh, maybe a few months? I suppose it's to be expected. You are getting older. When can you fix it? I'm doing everything I can, Miriam. I promise I'll shift every priority towards fixing you up, just as soon as you can track down those rascals and find out what killed them. You remember them, don't you? I always remember them. Yes. That is peculiar. I'll see you soon, Mother. What do you want to do next?
So I think that he'll go into the village and start asking questions.
You walk into the town square, dodge a couple of children playing tag, and I'm going to actually have you go ahead and make a perception roll.
19.
You look at these children as they run by, laughing and giggling, and you have a sudden, horrible flashback to the moment when you found each of these children lying dead in the town square. And the more you look around and the more you examine your surroundings, you see that these are the exact people, the exact villagers that had been slaughtered by the screamers that day in the fog.
Honestly, I think that he would just keep walking. But he would hold Luna a little bit closer.
You could continue on this main road straight out of town into the hills and meadows and lakes and forests surrounding. You could head just off to the right to the tavern, just off to the left to the grocers, or any number of the other shops and people's homes in town.
I think that he'll go to the grocers.
Okay. You walk in and the door jingles with a little tinkling bell, and you see Darian, the grocer, standing behind the counter, just as he always had been.
Darian? Is that you?
Stick! By my eyes and ears, you finally made it! I thought you might have found a different heaven. And he walks out from behind the counter to give you a huge warm embrace.
He wouldn't hug back, but he wouldn't say no to the hug.
His embrace loosens up a little bit, and he pulls back his hands on your shoulders, and he says, I sense you're confused. Did you just pass?
Oh, I'm very confused. I've noticed a lot of things since I've been here. My owl bear's back. I can do a backflip. My leg's fine.
I tell you, Luna hasn't left that stable in the years since she passed. Just waiting for you every morning. A miracle that she even remembers you. It's been so long.
And all of you, are you okay?
You see sort of a dark flash in his eyes. He sort of brings you further into the store, away from the other patrons.
Darian, I'm so sorry. I should have done something. I let you and this village down.
Stick, what happened was not your fault. I understand you went chasing these creatures, and I understand they slaughtered us as a result. But I need you to know we have forgiven you. And if anything, we should thank you.
Thank me?
We're happy. And most of all, we're together. There's no need to question that.
Yeah. Well, show me around.
A week passes in this place. This dream of yours does not end. Describe to me your ideal life after a week in heaven.
Honestly, I think that they would just live. I think they're way more social because everyone kind of treated him bad in the real world. I think it would be like a Beauty and the Beast. Belle walks through the village. I think that that's how Stick does. I think that they would get a job, maybe delivering things, delivering groceries.
I love it. Okay.
Luna would drag this giant cart filled with apples and carrots and bread, and he'd be sitting on top like he'd be like riding a giant elephant. Hello, sir. How you doing? Good morning, Stick. Sort of like Gandalf now, when he's going into the Hobbit village.
He's the special strange old man that's in and out.
Be just so thankful to be given a second chance to be with Luna and to start again.
Ugh. It looks like hell in here. What is that? Whoa. Hold on a second. Put that down.
Then prove you're not one of those things.
What things?
The flesh monsters. You have 10 seconds.
Okay. Can the flesh monsters do this?
Holy shit, what is that?
Sort of like a wormhole, I guess. It's how I got here.
It's terrifying.
Only if you stare too long.
Okay, so not a flesh monster.
No, I'm a tired old lady. And I suppose your introduction of choice is to ambush little old ladies in the dark with a column of fire? I like that.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Then don't. Now, what do you mean, flesh monsters?
This whole damn fortress was full of them. And they can shapeshift. Look like anybody.
Was full of them?
I haven't seen a full one in 2 days. Either I've killed the rest or they're getting better at hiding.
That's comforting.
Not to be too forward here, but who are you?
Oh, right. Miriam, Secretary of Death.
Okay. I'm Torek, former staff sergeant. I'd shake your hand, but
Oh, gods. Did that just happen?
a couple weeks ago, I was an experiment for the scientists here. My meat didn't play nicely with the flesh monsters, so they were taking off chunks of me to find out why. Are you here for my soul or something?
No, you can keep it there. I'm tracking a group of travelers. They would have come here investigating the murder of Lucky Kurtzel.
Of course. Here, let's walk and talk. Help me loot these corpses. I could use someone with thumbs.
No problem.
I'm assuming you mean the real Lucky and not the freak monster hybrid that took his place?
You know what? I don't know, actually.
They were here, and if you're looking for the Lucky thing, fair warning, you reached in my brain while I was tied up and dug all through my memories for good measure.
Wait, he accessed your memories?
Yeah, it was horrible. We, mind melded? Anyways, they killed most of the flesh monsters and the head scientist, that's his lower half over there, and then they left me here. Dicks.
You know, I try to defend him, but what the hell is that all about? They
I
left you
know,
here?
and it's not like they left in a hurry, they just completely...
They weren't even rushing?
No,
not
and
even...
Lucky had just talked to me
Are
like
you
2
serious? That's like
hours
a whole new
beforehand.
level of dickbag.
Who forgets that fast?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, dead serious. So that's why I'm gonna kill him.
I feel like that's a pretty dramatic escalation, actually.
Well, they left me for dead. It seems only fair. What
Well,
would you
no,
do
I'm
in my
not saying
situation?
your
I
instinct
doubt
is
it's really
wrong.
any
I'm just
different.
saying
It's
there's
not like they
probably
gave me
more
any
productive way to
tools
manage
for
your emotions
survival or
right now.
anything. You're absolutely right, and I
Try
hear
to
you.
go
I'm
about
on
this
your
with a
level,
clear
but
head, you know.
Rage is sort of the only thing giving me the will to live right
That
now.
makes
and I
perfect
feel like if I
sense, but
lose
once
it,
you're able to
I'll lose the last
process
bit
your
of fight I
heightened
have in
emotion...
me. And who am I
Tori,
without the fight?
now, hold on a second. You seem like a great guy.
I appreciate
You have
that.
plenty to live for. I mean, look at you. You're beautiful. You're strong.
No, I
You're brave.
appreciate that. I really do. I just...
Look, here's the deal. I can get you out of here. Just tell me what you can about where they went from here. Forget the murdering, and I'll break you out of this shithole.
That is so kind of you. Are
I
you
know.
for real? Can you do that?
Toots. I never make a promise I can't keep.
Okay. I absolutely owe you lunch when we get out of here.
Perfect, done.
On me. I swear.
It's a deal.
I swear.
I'll come to you.
Let me think. Okay, so from the very little I could hear, mind you, they were headed to Aventir.
The capital.
Yes, exactly. But honestly, I doubt they would have even made it before this storm hit. I mean, I couldn't even open the blast doors in this wind, and I tried several times. This is the kind of storm that'll tear a ship apart.
Well, they're not dead.
Well, how do you... Oh, right.
Would they have any other way to get out?
Yes, actually. They had a dragon with them. Gorky is his name, but I think Lucky set him free. They didn't leave together? But if you can find that dragon, I bet he'll know which way to point you.
Do you have anything that belonged to the dragon? A personal possession, maybe?
It was shackled in that room over there with the door. I bet you could find some of his scales where the steel bit into him.
That's perfect. Yep, that'll do. Now, let's get you out of here. Where you want to go?
The capital.
You're not still trying to kill him.
I know. They sound like friends of yours, but I'm
Torek,
sort of
Torek,
grasping for a purpose
Torek,
here, Miriam.
listen to me.
And if I can head them
Torek,
off and get the jump
you
on
are
them, maybe
amazing.
I'd be able to make something
You are
out of
the
this.
only
I don't know.
soldier to survive the fortress of the Forgotten Sun. You've got everything going for you.
Not hands and feet.
You don't need hands and feet.
No, but I want hands and feet.
You don't need hands and feet. You got this far without them.
Yeah.
You don't need vengeance. You just need a new purpose. Write a book. Join the circus.
Dictating a book.
Fall in love. You've got almost half your life ahead of you, probably.
You're right.
Drop the murder thing for me, okay? Promise?
Fine.
All right. To the capital or bust. Go get him, Toots.
Oh, you want me to
Yep,
just...
you'll be there before you know it.
It's just that it looks a little...
And there you go. On through space-time. What a nice guy.
So set it up for me. What is a job that you would need to go on as a grocer?
I think that he would go and probably like pick some fresh fruit, maybe like some apples, berries, some stuff like that. And I think that he would just go and deliver it.
Perfect. So you head out of town into the woods to go and pick some berries in a place where you knew they always were. You're walking out through the woods and you see that these bushes are just full and ripe and bursting with these beautiful raspberries and blueberries and blackberries. It's like an absolute paradise. Better than you ever saw it in life.
He would be telling Luna about the adventures. And then there was this lady whose name was Zippy. She was very dark and mysterious. I don't think that she liked me, but I always liked her just a tiny bit. Then there was this guy named Posey. Posey was smart, intelligent, and he was also super dramatic. Now, I liked him. Don't get me wrong. And then there was this girl. She was... how do I describe her? She, you ever, like, got a splinter? Well, imagine you got hit by an arrow. That's who she is. She's like if you ordered a steak and the person came out and just shot you with an arrow. I mean, I have so many examples of how I can describe. Like, imagine if you went berry picking, for example, and then one of the berries just shot you with an arrow. That's the best way I can describe her.
Luna's fully engrossed in this story. Full expressions, active listening.
No. I mean, like, look, here's the thing. Is that, like, I know that everyone has their development issues. I feel like this girl had anger issues. Something else entirely. Like, imagine if you got shot with an arrow.
In all your walking in the woods, you'd gotten lost in the story with Luna, just enjoying the hours you're spending together. You start wandering off trail, sort of in the more wild spaces of the woods, and I'm going to go ahead and make you roll another perception.
Would it be nature?
Whichever one's better.
10.
You go to reach for a raspberry, but as you pick it, the texture is just slightly off. It feels a little more coarse and granular, almost like maybe it's dirty or something.
No, what do you think about this one? I think you'll hold it up for Luna to, like, examine it and sniff it.
Luna sniffs it and then recoils. And as you hold it up to the light, you can see that it's just a little bit translucent.
Well, I'll be... Luna, we're gonna be rich! We found a new kind of berry! Let me see if I can find some more.
So yeah, you're digging through, you keep going deeper and deeper off path, and you find that all the berries are like this. And in fact, the deeper you go, the more sort of coarse and granular these berries seem to become. And then beyond that, the bushes start to get a little bit scratchier, but as you're running through them, the branches start just breaking off as you make contact with them, and everything sort of assumes this dusty, powdery essence the further you go into the woods.
Okay. Hey, Luna, we should head back. I don't like it here.
Okay.
I think he'll drop the berry on the floor and just go deliver the better ones.
As it impacts the ground, it just explodes in a puff of dust. And that dust becomes fog and floats up into the air around you. And as you look around, everything around you is becoming this thick, incorporeal fog. And on the edge of sight, way, way, way deep into the woods, it's almost as if the branches and the trees and the thickets are sort of dissolving away into this powdery mist.
Does he notice anything that's, like, solid around him?
Everything around you seems to be breakaway, seems to be weak, seems to be sickly. But the further you get back to town, the more solid things seem to become.
I think he'll just head back with Luna. Another fine day's work, Darian.
Just as splendid as usual.
Yes. Also, I was wondering, on the, Blackberry Trail, do we have any other places that have blackberries growing? Because that Blackberry Trail seems to be a little bit different. Decay-ish.
He gives you sort of a knowing look and a wink. Oh, my dear old man. Did you wander off the path?
What do you mean?
He leans in a little close and a little quiet. He's still very casual about all of this, but it almost seems like he wants to keep this conversation a little private. He says, "Oh, Stick, it's just the mist. It's nothing to worry about. It passes through town from time to time, but it's best to stay on the path. To avoid things like that, it can be dangerous in there."
Oh, okay. Well, in the meantime, do you know any other blackberry trails? Because I think that the mist is starting to affect some of the fruit that's out there.
We have berries for now.
You'd tell me if something was wrong, right?
Roll insight.
4.
His expression is very unclear, but he does say, "Of course I would. It's just the fog."
There you are.
So you're the one who's been scrying me.
You're not an easy dragon to find.
I take pride in that.
It's Gorky, right?
And you are?
Miriam, Secretary of Death.
God damn. Some people just have all the luck with names. Why'd you come all this way out here to find me, Miriam? Secretary of Death?
I'm tracking your friend, Lucky, and his traveling party. I'm wondering if you could tell me where they've gone.
And why, can I ask, are you tracking them? I'm not sure they'd be too keen to hear an omen of death is chasing them across the world.
You could say we're working for the same boss right now, and they, haven't been showing up to work.
I gotta say, I'm surprised you work for anyone, Miriam. Are you sure we haven't met?
My memory's not exactly stellar these days, but I'm sure it's not impossible.
Not that it matters to me, but how can I be sure your intentions with them are good?
Well, I'm not sure what my boss's intentions are, but I'll do what I can to protect them.
I'll make a deal with you. I'll tell you where they've gone. If you give me that scale, as I'm sure you know, I am the only 3-dragon in the Northern Wastes. I don't need any more fucking prying eyes on me.
Be my guest.
They knew they wouldn't reach the capital in time. They altered course for Hollowville to seek shelter. I couldn't fly with them in the storm, but I watched from shore. And if you tell them I was watching, I'll deny it, for the record. It looked like they weren't gonna make it, but they got picked up by the ferryman.
The ferryman. He sounds familiar.
Yeah, well, he gives me the creeps. I don't know where he ended up taking them, but I'm sure he could tell you. Good luck tracking down the ocean's freakiest illusionist, though.
I feel like I'll be able to find him.
Huh? Good luck, then. And if you find him, tell Lucky to go f*** himself with a broomstick.
I'll make note of it.
Late at night, while everyone's sleeping, I think he'd go back to the fog. He'd go to his backyard, and he'd get a basket, and fill his basket up with a bunch of rocks. And then I would place a bunch of rocks in a line right where the mist starts.
Okay.
Then I would take a couple of the rocks, and I would just huck it into the fog and see if I notice anything different with that.
Okay. For a few seconds, you can just see the solid mass of the stone sort of hurtling through the air. But then right as it gets to the edge of sight, you actually watch the rock dissolve and disintegrate into this gray, foggy matter. and just incorporate itself with the rest of the fog in front of you.
I don't like this girl. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and I'm gonna check the rock that's on the floor.
Another day passes. You go back to check the rocks, and you find that you cannot even access the place where you put the line of rocks. It is now, by your best guess, a couple of 100 feet farther away.
Oh shit. I think that he would go and then he would start storming into the grocer's shop.
You bust into the store. Darian is shocked to see you walk in this suddenly.
Are there any customers inside?
Yes, always. Ooh, roll insight. Did you get a nat 1?
I got a nat 1.
Okay, nice. Everything's fine.
Everybody out!
Ooh, are you trying to persuade or intimidate?
Persuade.
Give me an advantage persuasion roll.
I'll do a nat 20.
You got a nat 20? Instantly, everyone looks at you in shock and hurries out the front door fast as they possibly can. It is just you and Darian left. Darian looking very intimidated by this sudden show of anger. Whatever the problem is, I'm sure we can work it out.
Oh, we're way past that the moment you lied to me about whatever the hell that fog is. I don't know if it's bad, good, or whatever mojo it is. But you gotta be honest with me. Does everyone else here know?
I told you not to go back there, Stick. And you told me you wouldn't.
I guess we both lied to each other.
Darian now takes on a strange new light. This is not the Darian you knew in life. And you can tell this is very much against his nature. Like, something about it is just wrong. The fog will pass, and I promise everything will be quiet again.
Who knows about the fog? Am I the only one that's out of the loop?
The people of this town stick to this town. We try not to look beyond our borders too readily.
Oh, cut the BS riddle stuff. Do they know?
I think it's better you found employment somewhere else, Stick.
Yeah, maybe I should. I think he's going to pick up an apple and he's going, I'm taking this. I think he's then going to go into town. And does this town have like a town square?
Yep, a town square with a fountain in the center.
Him and Luna will sit at the edge of the fountain. And I think that he'll just look around. And I think that he'll just start looking closer.
Give me an investigation roll with advantage.
16 plus 3, 19.
You look around, and again, there are the little fellows bringing their carts with goods into town to sell to the grocer. There are the old friends meeting up in front of the tavern for another drink. There are the children playing tag in the square. And you notice, in a sudden but maybe expected shock, that all of these motions and all of these performances are exactly the same as the day you got here. And exactly the same as they have been every day since you got here. These people are replaying motions. And not something novel to you, they're replaying your own memories of this town back to you. It's like some twisted projector of your own imagination of what this town used to be, playing on a loop in any area where you seem to not be focusing your attention.
Yeah, we're not home. Where are we? Quickly, let's get home.
As you walk into your house, you hear the sounds of the town sort of quiet down behind you.
I'm going to slowly turn around to look back at the town.
Okay, and just as you see it out of the corner of your eye, some of the sounds return, the volume raises back up again, and it could just be a trick of acoustics.
And then I'm going to slowly turn back around.
And the sounds die out again as you continue to walk back home. You feel suddenly very weak. What does Stick do once he arrives home?
I think his home is kind of small, but it's big enough for Luna to be inside. I think he'll have like a little bouncy ball. I think he'll start throwing it kind of like around the room, kind of like as he's like thinking. And I think he'll throw it at Luna, and then Luna will catch it in her mouth and then spit it back at him, and he'll catch it as he's like thinking.
I love it.
All right, let's see here. When I got here, I was healthy. Totally fine. Let's think about what happened before I got here. I died. I jumped into the monster and died.
If at any point during these musings you want to roll a history check on a certain detail, I could jog your memory.
Whatever that fog is, it's almost a barrier that's keeping us sort of inside. And it's all tied to us. Now, the thing is that Darian is aware. But Darian is not Darian. So who is Darian? I know you know something. Stick. Think. What did what Posey say?
Make a history roll to see if you remember.
15.
When Posey had his near-death experience, he remembered being halfway between Heaven's waiting room and some mysterious door. And suddenly it clicks together for you that this is very likely the same door that briefly appeared before you woke up in heaven. This first place was where your soul was meant to go before it was dragged off elsewhere.
Okay. All right. So that's where we should go. Question is, how are we going to get there? All right. So remember that hook I was telling you about? The one that was, like, supposed to be important, but he wasn't?
Damn, pot shot.
The one that was, like, had, like, some sort of backstory, but no one really cared?
Okay, all right. We're laying it on a little thick now.
When he died, we went to, like, do this, like, sort of heaven heist thing. Every room has a door. We just gotta find the door here. The question is, where would she hide it? Should we sleep on it?
Luna agrees.
Stick would go to bed, but he'll, like, sleep in his little bed. He'll be in his, like, his little pajamas, and Luna would sleep, like, on the bedside of the bed. And I don't know. He just looks he looks really comfortable. He looks like a kid that's just, like, waiting to wake up on Christmas morning.
Well, if it isn't Miss Madam M, it's been a long time. So we have met before. I knew it. Do you not remember me? I know I should. I almost do. It's like it's itching at me. It's... Whoa. Careful there. Don't hurt yourself. It's enough to say we go all the way back. I sense that we do. You know, your voice sounds a lot like mine. I don't hear it. Yeah, maybe not. Let me take a wild guess. You're looking for a certain 4 wandering souls, and your hunt led you to me. I like you already. They mentioned you the first time I met them. They said you go by Mother Death? No? Oh, no, that's my boss. My official title is Secretary of Death. Tell you what, Madam Secretary. You tell me your story, and I think I could maybe help you out. I can only tell you what I've still got left up here, and it's a pretty short story, to be honest. I'll hang on every word. Well, I am the Secretary of Mother Death. I manage all the accounting and logistics, handle the transfers of each soul into their respective heaven, and track internal affairs for anomalous activity. As far as I know, that's been me. For as long as I've been me. But I guess a few months ago, I started having memory trouble. I can only remember a week or 2 at a time. Pretty much any small details get lost. But the one thing that sticks is those 4. I remember every interaction with them almost as clear as yesterday. Mother seems to believe they're an anomaly in the system. They don't fit into any heaven we assign them. So, she sent them back to figure out why. And because they're just about the most dysfunctional group of idiots she's ever seen, I guess she sends me out to verify every detail. I tell her what I can, but every damn time I'm on to something, my memory farts out again. Mother thinks it's connected to them, and If we can solve their mystery, we can solve mine. I've got to do it all in these short bursts, though. I guess the longer I'm away from heaven, the weaker I get. How long have you been down here this time? About a week and a half. And do you feel weaker now than you did at the start? Well, not necessarily. My head definitely hurts more, like things are starting to burst in all at once. Oh, Miriam, I need you to listen to me very carefully. I don't think you're getting weaker out here. I think something very bad is happening to you in the afterlife. And it's repressing your mind. I might believe you. You need to stay down here. I can't. She'll just send someone to track me down. Is there anything you learned down here that you absolutely need to remember that someone might want to take away from you? Yes. Write it down. On this, it's sending paper, a trick I learned from Vesper Winthrop. You take the blank half with you to the afterlife. It'll pass Mother Death's inspection. Then after a day, I'll send you whatever it is you wrote down here. We keep in contact like this, and I think I can help you out there. Thank you, Ferryman. What's your real name, anyways? I like Ferryman. It's the name you gave me. Oh my God! Who is that? The boy in the water. What does he want? Is he saying something? I don't know. He's never spoken to me before. Do you remember making us? I do not. I come to thank you for the gift of rod and to offer you my aid. The imposter mother wields the magic of Kaivon. I feel him pulling at the roots of the earth. How can we stop it? She feeds on the dead as they sleep. Free the captive souls, and she will wither on the vine. Not to be contrarian, boy, but would the god of decay not welcome Kaifon in? Flesh only rots where the mushrooms grow. I seek to preserve that which will return to me. What is it that he gave you? It looks like a wand. Hide it away and hope Mother Death doesn't find it. I delivered our friends safely to Hollow Vale. They are still there now. Move as swiftly as you can.
You wake up in the morning to a firm but gentle knock on your front door. And the very first thing you notice is you feel terrible. Your body is emaciated. It's like you've lost 30 pounds overnight. Your eyes are sunken. You can barely focus. You feel awful.
Is Luna still sleeping?
Luna wakes up when you wake up.
He'll answer it.
Standing in the doorway is Darian. He has not an angry look on his face, but a very serious one. May I come in, Stick?
I think he won't say anything, but I think he'll just open the door, just give like an expression like, come on in.
He steps in through the doorway and then keeps stepping towards you. I'd like to apologize for losing my temper, but I cannot stress to you enough that there are important things at stake here. And I would like to inform you that I think it would be best that you stayed home and rested for a few days. You don't look good. You're not thinking right either. You're telling yourself stories, conspiracies, making yourself ill. I think it's best we took care of you for a little while.
I think that is some really good advice. Do what is best for me.
That's all we want here.
But where exactly is here?
Home.
Either heaven is turning you into a jackass, or you're not Darian.
Heaven, and he steps up to you, has made me into what I need to be to keep you
So
safe.
you have no right taking from
Stick,
me.
what I liked about you in life is that you weren't much of a thinker. You stayed quiet. You stayed out of the way. And as long as you had your little pet, you didn't bother the rest of us. You finally have what you sought. You have your Luna. Hold her. Be with her. You have hours left. Don't waste it struggling uselessly like you did your entire life. Find your peace and sit f***ing still.
And I think he'll just go in for a punch.
Roll for attack.
10?
That hits. Barely. Your punch connects solidly with his face. And two things happen at once. The first is that a crackling puff of misty powder shoots out from his cheek. And second, that he instantly transforms in this glitch-like flash and becomes a different villager. Now he's one of the customers that's always walking the halls of the grocer's store. A woman this time.
What the hell? And I think that he'll sort of start backing up towards Luna.
This woman takes a step towards you as you step away.
I thought things might go this way. It's regrettable, but...
She pulls out a length of rope from her dress and is going to attempt to grapple you.
Ah, you freaky bitch.
Damn it. She tries to tie the rope around your hand, but you're able to dodge out of the way a little bit too quickly. She doesn't seem like she's extremely hurried, but you notice very intentionally blocking the doorway from your access.
All right, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And I think what he'll do is he'll attempt to do a giant backflip to land on Luna. And
Okay,
to
sick.
And then have him go, charge!
Roll acrobatics.
18 plus 10, 28.
Yes! Oh, a beautiful backflip. You land just spectacularly gracefully right on Luna's back. Luna rears back in a screech and goes charging forward, absolutely trampling this creature. Go ahead and roll for attack with Luna.
16, so 16 plus 7, 23.
Jeez. Okay, roll for damage.
18 damage total.
So Luna just absolutely curb stomps this woman on the way out the door. As her claws and beak connect with it, it completely dissolves into a cloud of dust. And that dust quickly retreats to the fringes where the rest of the fog is collecting and encroaching on you. You burst out of the front doors of your own house and you can see that this fog has essentially enveloped the majority of this town. The only things really in the clear are the town square and the ring of houses just on the outside, including yours. Standing on the edge of the town square, you can see just dozens of figures silhouetted in the fog, standing perfectly still, staring in at you.
Oh, not again. Oh, no.
Across the street, a small child's voice echoes out from the fog and just says, "Stick." And then from the other side of the square, a woman's voice, "Stick." And the other side of the square, a man's voice, "Stick." Then a woman's voice, "Stick. Stick. Stick. Stick." and this chorus of townspeople's voices escalates until they are screaming in this ungodly chorus, attempting to quell you, force you back into your house.
He'll cover his ears.
Okay. Where would she hide it? Think, why can't I think? You're so loud. She'd hide it in a place I wouldn't want to go. A place where I wouldn't want to go.
And he'll open his eyes, and then he'll just look at Luna. And I think him looking at Luna puts this sort of calm energy in him. That he takes a deep breath, and he slowly exhales, and he slides off the owlbear, and then he just starts walking while like holding Luna by his side
By the reins.
towards the center of the town square.
You arrive in exactly the same spot where you were before, and in a horrible mimicry of your very worst moments, these creatures begin closing in on you. Until, in your hands, she flickers.
No! You dick.
Luna had been this place's very last attempt to keep you docile. She looks at you with pleading eyes, as if to say, you could still have a few more moments with me.
I just did. And then I jump in the fountain.
You jump feet first into the fountain, and you explode outwards, soaking wet, into Heaven's staircase. Looking behind you, you see a closed door labeled Stick Walkman in gold adornment.
That's the door I just came out of?
Yes.
I'll shut it.
The door clicks with a devastating finality, and everything goes dead quiet again.
I think he'll start walking towards the giant door.
In the waiting room,
Yeah.
you know exactly where to go. You click your little way down, your body dripping down the stairs from the water of the fountain, and right before you make it down to the waiting room, you hear a voice call from the top of the staircase. Miriam, is that you? And the click of smart heels coming down the staircase towards you.
I think I'll just gun it, and I'll just try to make it through the door first.
You sprint across the waiting room, and your soul makes contact with this mysterious door. And just as before, you find yourself slowly, awkwardly, painfully phasing through. Your whole spirit is filled with like a searing, uncomfortable heat. If this wasn't absolutely where you knew you needed to go, you'd think there was no way this could be right. And just through the wood paneling of this door, you see a brilliant orb of shining light. Absolutely impossible to put into words, but you do sense that there is something and maybe someone beyond waiting for you. Mother Death is coming down the stairs. She sees the water and realizes something here is very wrong. She looks up, sees Stick Walkman's door, and her eyes widen in a panic, and she now begins sprinting down the staircase to the waiting room. I'm going to have you give me a flat, unaltered dexterity roll to see if you can force yourself to phase through this door and make your way to this orb of light before she arrives in the waiting room for you.
Okay. 13? Is that enough?
You make your way
Son
mostly
of a bitch.
through the door. From the waist up, you are through this door, and your fingertips can just reach inside this orb of light. And the second they do, you can hear the sound of something huge running at you, sprinting at you. But at the same time, Mother Death breaks into the waiting room and sees Stick's little legs poking out through the doorway. And in a panic, she screams, "You get back here!" And she, running at you, takes a hold of your ankle and begins ripping you back out of the doorway. Your fingertips close around this thing that is running at you. And as they do, you can feel the familiar feel of owlbear feathers Luna, on the other side, softly cooing, urging you onward. And in the very split second before Mother Death pulls you back through, Luna wrenches you into this golden orb, and Stick finds his way to the real afterlife.
Finally, a guy could die in peace. Wow.
It's half a life, but I'm still living it. Yeah, it's a shallow breath, but I'm still breathing it. Half a life, but I'm still living it. Yeah, it's a half a life, but I'm still living it.
Murder, She Rolled stars Stacey Harkey as Posey Borgion, Shona Kay as Amber Zippy Ziffendale, Alan Seawright as Lucky Kurtzel, Hope Vandermeiden as Vesper Winthrop, David Sant as DM, and Ethan Vandermeiden as Edwin Winthrop. Our theme song is Half-Life by Glyph Society. Our show is edited and sound designed by David Sant. Our assistant editor is Lauren Allen, and our captioner and head conspiracy theorist is Eitan Richards. If you like our show, you can directly support us on Patreon and get early access ad-free episodes, along with our behind-the-scenes podcast, Coffin Talk, and our full Audition Haunted House mini-campaign, outtakes, and more. And if you just sign up at our free tier, you can see my campaign maps. They're a lot of fun, and a lot of other announcements and updates, including voting on episode ideas. Find us at patreon.com/murdersherolled. Some of our Patreon supporters are people like May, Lupe Herrera, Dizzy Mama, Funfab Juju, Bella Loca, Fodor Peter, Ruthness, A Smidge of Boise, Dina, and Brittany B. Please subscribe and follow on your favorite podcast platform and give us a rating and write a review. It really helps the show reach new people. And aren't we all about reaching people? All the way in those crevies. You can follow us on social media at Murder She Rolled on Instagram and Threads, and our subreddit is r/Murder She Rolled. Our next episode comes out in 2 weeks. We will see you then.
Yeah, it's a half a life, but I'm still living it.
I haven't done Stick's voice in a while.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
This will be fun.
Hello. Nope.